I've done many things to make it quite hard for people to get a hold of me. I've turned my private WhatsApp into a business WhatsApp, and I gave myself opening hours. And I've neglected my newsletter for over 8 years. I changed my name so that people, well, I didn't do it so that people couldn't find me, but I just wanted to change my name a little bit. And now the people who knew me as another name and the name under which all my art appears is no longer connected to any of my social media accounts. My main website portfolio domain expired by accident, oops, which also shut down my main email account. And I wasn't able to blast out to anybody that I was still alive and that I had a different email. And I deleted everything on Instagram. Now I post about once a month on average. And I don't really do stories, and I definitely don't do reels. And yet, I regularly sell paintings for 4 figures, so between 2,500 euros and 8,000 euros. And I make a living off of that. And I don't know how. I really don't. And I do feel extremely lucky. But I also know that something is operating that, to me, kind of makes sense. And the way that I look at it is that there is a second internet. So there's the technological internet. Sorry, I'm holding a string. There's a technological internet. And then there's like the internet of synchronicity and energy and flow and all these things. And we're connected to both. And both of them work best through hyperconnectivity. And I think most of us know what it's like to be hyperconnected to the tech internet, like the internet of technology, the internet of data centers, the internet of servers and such. This other internet is something which is more subtle, but I really feel that it has to be real because there's no other explanation for why people still manage to find me despite all of the hoops they have to jump through to get me. Like whenever someone contacts me about buying a painting, I'm like, how did you find me? Like, I don't exist on the internet. And it's always, it's not necessarily someone who would describe themselves as spiritually connected to a second internet, but there's something about this ping that happens where when I'm in a sort of flow, somehow attention comes back to me, and attention in the form of resources and support to continue doing what I'm doing. Why am I not hyper connected to the tech internet? Well, I think that there's a lot of things about the server internet. Oh my God, sorry. If this is confusing, I'm sorry. But there's a lot of things about the server internet that are diametrically opposed to being in a creative flow. Because that internet, I'll just say the internet, that internet causes us to constantly compare and to constantly grasp for new and novel information. Whereas a creative flow is more about like kind of creating a container or a vessel where you can digest and work through what's in front of you in a substantial and comprehensive way. And I've made an intentional step away from spending time on social media, promoting stuff, fixing websites, whatever, in order to experience more creative flow, which honestly, I think is the point of life. I think that like when you hear about how humans enter into flow state and what the results of flow state are as incredible optimization of your energy, of work, of your output, also that it takes you out of comparing yourself to others. It takes you away from being self-conscious. And it's like it's like a neurochemical cocktail of all the best things. And it's so satisfying to not only be in flow, but then to come out of it and be like, holy shit, I forgot about everything that is petty in my life. I forgot about where my body hurts. I forgot about my age compared to other people's age and what their accomplishments are. I forgot that even like the things that I'm making are not so cute, but I'm learning. And that intrinsic satisfaction of having learned and made something of the things at hand, there's nothing like it. And so I really think that, I mean, flow is not just an optimal state, it's kind of like why we're here. I mean, that's really how I feel. So back to making painting sales, and I don't want to make this a long video, so I'm just gonna kind of try to wrap it up around this point. I have not promoted anything, and as I said, I've made it very hard to find me. But what's changed recently, and it's recently that I've made more sales than ever. What's changed recently is actually making these videos. And the videos don't have any views. So it's not that people who are seeing my videos are suddenly turning around and saying, yeah, I'm gonna spend 8,000 euros on a painting. But the videos are just a symptom or, a symptom of entering into flow as much as possible in my life right now. And somehow when I enter into flow, it's almost like I'm hyper engaging with that other internet, the internet of synchronicity and intuition and, you know, psychic pings between people of like the radio broadcast that this person, this human being over here has lit up and is a fountain of creative ideas. And it's almost like energetically, it's like you want to invest in that person because you know that they're going to alchemize that resource into something beautiful or great. And yeah, I choose to believe that because I think that there's no other, otherwise it wouldn't make sense. It really wouldn't make sense. And it also helps me understand that I don't need to play by other people's rules, because a lot of what people offer as advice is kind of gross. It's kind of gross, and it's kind of like this necessary evil to make it in the world. But I've never had to compromise in that way. And the times that I have spent on social media and on building my website are creative processes in and of themselves. And so it's not a diss on people who spend their time promoting or whatever, because that can be very creative. But it is a diss on people who think that that's like, you know, having to scam people or having to basically push stuff down people's throats is the only way to make a living in this world. Because it's not true. I'm living proof of it. If you believe that I'm real. Okay, bye.